Fair use. Fair use.
Guys, so I would like to read from the Bible tonight, and this verse that I'm going to read, I've been sitting on for a little while. I just haven't had the time to make a video, but when I opened the Bible and turned to it, I felt like God wanted me to share it, so I've saved it and waited until I had the time to make the video, and so I'm going to share it now. I'm reading from Ezekiel 35. I'm pretty sure that's the number. It's called A Prophecy Against Edom. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, set your face against Mount Seir, prophesy against it, and say, this is what the sovereign Lord says, I am against you, Mount Seir, and I will stretch out my hand against you and make you a desolate waste. I will turn your towns into ruins and you will be desolate. Then you will know that I am Lord. Because you harbored an ancient hostility and delivered the Israelites over to the sword at the time of their calamity, the time their punishment reached its climax, therefore, as surely as I live, declares the sovereign Lord, I will give you over to bloodshed, and it will pursue you. Since you did not hate bloodshed, bloodshed will pursue you. I will make Mount Seir a desolate waste and cut off from it all who come and go. I will fill your mountains with the slain. Those killed by the sword will fall on your hills and in your valleys and in all ravines. I will make you desolate forever. Your towns will not be inhabited. Then you will know that I am the Lord. As I've stated in other videos, I'm still new with the Bible and still learning everything myself, so I don't have a whole lot of context for that verse, but I'm feeling or thinking that it's meant to be shared for someone who needs to hear it or read it or see it. Hear it or read it. For someone who needs to hear it. So there might be someone out there that will just come across the video and be like, I needed to hear that. You know, I put them out for God to guide people to the word when it's needed. I leave that in God's hands. I just share whatever I feel drawn to share from the Bible because God asked me to share his word. I don't know why he asked me to share his word because I'm not really that well versed. I'm still, learning the Bible myself, but that's what God told me to do, so I'm just following what he's asked. So I don't have a lot of I don't have a whole lot of context for that verse, but I do feel and believe that that verse is meant to be shared for those who may need it. God will draw them to it when the time is right, and I just have trust and faith in that. So hopefully it can bring someone some guidance or, an answer to a prayer, or just, I don't know, just whatever they need at the time. That's in God's hands. So that's where I leave it. Thank you for joining me, and I hope that it brings blessings to all. And I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you on the next video.
Yeah, you're just reading your own downfall. That's if you was an Edomite. And yeah, the right one came across your video. Now I'm doing a response to it. But Shalom. All right, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, as always, I want to start by giving all praises and glorifications to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders at great minister and well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of the earth, preaching his word in truth and sincerity. Shalom. All right. So I came across this video, which is the spirit. As you just seen, she said, if anybody came across the video, I hope it was an inspiration. It would lighten somebody's eyes. But she said she didn't understand the context well. I'm gonna break it down for you, okay? Which I don't intend to make this video that long, but it gives me a chance to go to some basics regarding Esau Edom. All right, since you want to try to teach the Bible and you don't know how, you have no idea what the fuck you talking about, man. Excuse my French. First and foremost, you a woman, let alone you a Edomite. And like I said, you was reading about your own destruction. You was reading about your own downfall if you're an Edomite, if your line doesn't go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, because the Edomites are the so-called white race. Okay, and that's what you're reading about, because every nation has a biblical nationality. All 18 nations on the planet Earth. Okay, everybody has a biblical nationality. The real Jews, the real Israelites, are not those people over there, all right, in Israel or the land of Israel today. They're Edomites, but they just disassociate themselves with you because they just proud like that, man. Okay, they proud like that, so they separate themselves from other so-called white people, all right, who are Edomites, and but they're Edomites too. They're from the tribe of Amalek, okay, of Esau, Edom. They're the top tribe, but they, like I said, they just associate themselves with you, okay. But like I said, you don't have no business trying to teach the Bible, because first and foremost, you're a woman. So I got this scripture queued up. This is 1 Corinthians 14, starting at verse 33. It says, "For the Most High is not the author of confusion." And you're just reading the Bible like a damn novel, man. Okay, the scriptures say precept upon precept, line upon line. You wasn't breaking down no scriptures. You wasn't going precept upon precept. You was just reading like a damn storybook, man. And you admitted yourself. She admitted herself that she didn't know what she was talking about, man. Talk about she's new to the Bible. First and foremost, the Bible ain't for you so-called white people, man. Okay, all together. All right. It says, "For the Most High is not the author of confusion." You're just bringing confusion, man. Okay, how the hell you expect to teach somebody you don't know what the hell you talking about, man? Okay, it says, "But of peace, as in all churches of the saints," which the saints, pursuing the Psalms. What's that? I believe 50:3. Or 55:3, something to that effect, where it says the saints are Israelites. All right, roughly paraphrasing. Okay, so the saints are Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, verse 34, it says, let your women keep silence in the churches. Right. It says, "For it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law." So women aren't supposed to be teaching the Bible. Okay, it's not your place to try to teach the scriptures, man. You're supposed to keep silence, man. And like I said, if you're an Edomite, you damn sure don't need to be trying to teach the scriptures, man, because this book condemns you. Not only Ezekiel 35, okay, as you was trying to go into, right, which I'm gonna get that later, okay, and I'm gonna break it down probably for you and show you that it's talking about your race, okay. And books like, especially Obadiah, try reading the book of Obadiah, because it gets more in depth about the destruction of Edom. Even Ezekiel the 25th chapter, okay, read that too, okay. But let me get another precept. Let's go to Genesis to prove that you so-called white people, because this, like I said, this gives me a chance to go into some basics, okay, proving that you so-called white people are the nation of Edom, man. Okay, because Esau is your forefather. This is Genesis 25:23. It says, "And the Lord said unto her, two nations," getting straight to the point, "two nations are in thy womb," right? Rebecca, the Lord was inquiring of Rebecca that two nations were in her womb. Okay, and it says, "And two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels." So two different nations, which was it's going to say it, Jacob and Esau. But I'm gonna read on. It says, "And the one people shall be stronger, which is Jacob, than the other, which is Esau," right? "And the elder shall serve the younger." All right, the elder being Esau. It's going to explain. It says, "And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins, fraternal twins, in her womb." It says, "And the first came out red." So that's the elder. Whoever when you have twins, whoever comes out first is the older. Okay. It says, "And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau." So this is you so-called white people's forefather. It says, "And the first came out red," because you're not white, you're red. Okay. And it says, "And all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau." So you're red all over, man. Okay, you're red all over. When you come out, when a so-called white baby comes out, it's red. Okay, like a damn lobster. Okay, okay, they put that name white on them. I believe in the 1600s, if I'm not mistaken. They came up with that term white, and that they equated them. They put it on them. Okay, they put that stigma on them to fool the world that they were pure, because that's what white means, pure. And there's nothing pure. Going back to your history about you, Edomites, man, you damn devils, man. Okay, so you're red. You're the red people. There's no white such thing as a white man on the planet Earth. Just like there's no such thing as a black man on the planet Earth, which we're different shades of brown. And other nations too, they have pigmentation. All right, so your race is the only ones that don't have pigmentation, man. Okay, verse 26. Oh yeah, and that's why your blood shows forth through your skin. So verse 26, it says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bore him. All right, 80 is 60. Yep, Isaac was 60 when Jacob was born. So why doesn't the Lord give a description of Jacob? Okay, or it doesn't give a description of Jacob when he came out. Okay, when he was born, because he came out like everybody else. Okay, it only describes Esau when he's born, how he looked when he came out. It was red. Okay, because you smack a so-called white person, what he turns red. He gets embarrassed or angry. Okay, they red, man. Okay, that's what color they turn. Because again, the blood shows forth through their skin. Okay, so I just want to knock that out. Okay, that proves that you Edomites, okay, aka so-called white people, descend from the line of Esau. So Ezekiel 35, let's go to it. We're gonna get into it, and I'm gonna wrap up. Like I say, I intend to make this lesson long. I just want to do a quick response to this Edomite woman. If she better hope she's not an Edomite, but just want to do a quick response to give us the understanding for those that might need it amongst the elect. All right. So this is Ezekiel 35:1. It says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Ezekiel, the prophet Ezekiel, speaking, it says, son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. So Mount Seir, okay, is talking about Esau, Edom, or the land originally, but it was originally a land called Mount Seir. But you can equate America to that, because Esau, okay, the whole world pretty much, he has it in his hands, but primarily America is like the establishment for their empire. Okay, so it's talking about America in a spiritual sense. Verse 3, it says, and say it unto it, thus saith the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, which represents you Edomites, or America, I am against thee, all right, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Okay, that's talking about America, because America is the sinful kingdom. Okay, let's get a precept, because like I said, you got to go precept upon precept and line upon line to fully understand the Bible. All right, this is Amos 9:8. It says, behold, the eyes of the Lord power are upon the sinful kingdom, and that's talking about America. Okay, because this is the worst kingdom or hegemony that ever existed. Okay, you got a place called Sin City, which is Las Vegas. Okay, you got sodomy running rampant, man. You got greed, corruption. Okay, let alone you Edomites ruling. Okay, you got women ruling over men. That's wickedness, man. Women in higher positions, man. Okay, that's wickedness, man. You got unruly children, so on and so forth. Trannies, man. It says, behold, the eyes of the Lord power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. See that? You're going to destroy it, man. It says, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob. Jacob's talking about Israelites. And I just read about Jacob in Genesis 25. when he was born. He's the forefather of the Israelites. The real Israelites being so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay? So I'm reading this part again. It says, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord. See? So let's go back. Salakia. Let's go back to Ezekiel. Ezekiel 35 and what, verse 2? Let's read verse 2 again. It says, son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. And that's what we're doing. We're prophesying against America. We're prophesying against you so-called white people, telling you that you're going down. It says, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. So I just read in Amos 9 and 8 how he's going to destroy the sinful kingdom. Okay, and that's talking about America. It says, and I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate. There go that word desolate again. It says, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. So ultimately, he's talking about you Edomites, you so-called white people. He's going to destroy you, man. All right, that's your judgment, okay? You're going to be destroyed. Okay, the ones that survive, which are the elites, okay, they're going into slavery. They're going to be shackled up, and that's your fate too. You're going into slavery, man. Okay, you're going to be shackled up. You're going to be chained up. You had us in slavery. You're going to slavery. Hey, Revelations 13, 9 and 10. Okay, the 10th verse says, he that leadeth in captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with a sword. And y'all got to pay for having us in slavery and doing all kind of ills and atrocities to us. Okay, you can look, let me go back. You can see the fear in her eyes when she read, because she had to be watching us. So why would the Lord put the spirit on her to just go into the book of Ezekiel 35 talking about Esau, Edom? Okay, just randomly. and when she was reading it, you can see the fear in her eyes, man. Okay, she had to be watching us, man, or the Israelites, period. Okay, because everybody know about the Israelites, man. Okay, because she would just randomly go into this book right here. So verse 4, it says, I will lay the cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. See, let's get a precept on that. Let's go back to Amos. You so-called white people have a perpetual hatred. The word perpetual means ongoing hate, or ongoing, everlasting. That's what the word perpetual means. So this is Amos 1 and 11. It says, thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, you so-called white people, all right, or the white race, and for 4 I will turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with a sword, all right? And y'all pursue us to this day, okay? Racially profile us, shoot us down like animals, okay? Lock us up unjustifiably. Last hired, first fired, right? You discreetly, we're discreetly still being lynched. Got sundown towns, right? So it says again, thus said the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually. There go that word again, ongoing anger toward the nation of Israel. And it says, and he kept his wrath forever. So that's why that wrath is still here to this day, with the so-called white people having your hatred for so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay? That hate is still ongoing, man. And it shows. Salakia. It shows, man. So back in 35, verse 5 again, it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel. See? Yeah, like I said, these racist cracker cops shoot us down like animals in the streets. Okay, let alone going back in hardcore slavery, how you shed the blood of primarily so-called Negroes, Okay, then Latinos, Native Americans, the Mexicans, which y'all got this land, America, through rape, robbery, and murder. You got to pay for it. It says, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, see, in the time of their calamity, right? In the time that their iniquity had no end. And the Lord allowed you to overtake us because we went against him. Okay? We broke his law, statutes, commandments. So he put us under the worst of the heathen, which is you so-called white people, man. Okay? Verse 6 it says, therefore, as I live, said the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood. So he's preparing you unto blood. And it says, and blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So you love blood. You Edomites love blood, man. Okay, you love to shed the blood of the Israelites. Okay, let me get another precept. Let's get another classic, Isaiah 14:21. Since you love blood, to back what I just read up in Ezekiel 35 and 6 or 7. All right, this is Isaiah 14:21. It says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. It says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. I like to say, oh, my forefathers did it. But guess what? You are your forefathers, because there's a such thing as reincarnation, man. Where you come back every 3-4 generations. Hey, your forefathers ain't here to pay that tab. Guess who got to pay it? You got to pay it. Okay? So again, it says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. All right, it's probably talking about you Edomites. Which, by the way, this book, okay, the Bible has nothing good to say about you so-called white people, man. Nothing but straight, gruesome judgment. Okay, and it's coming for you. It says that they do not rise, see, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So this is your last hoorah. America, your rulership in America is your last hoorah, man. Okay, so like the Lamentations, it says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. You better live it up, because, hey, you ain't going to overtake us again. You ain't going to rule no more. You're going to be in chains for 1,000 years, and after that 1,000 years, pursuing the book of Obadiah 1 and 18, you're going to be exterminated. All right, so this is another precept back in what I just read in Isaiah, but primarily in Ezekiel 35 and verse 6 or 7. It says, all right, Numbers 35 and 33, it says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. And that's talking about America primarily. The scriptures also say, thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark. Okay? This land was inhabited already before y'all brought y'all red asses over here and stole it through rape, robbery, and murder. There's genociding off the Native and Seminole Indians. Okay? You went down into Central South America and oppressed the 10 tribes, the Spanish-speaking tribes. Right? Let alone bringing the so-called Negroes over here. and you oppress them. You had to build America up against their will, and you was slaughtering them too. Okay? The tribe of Judah. Right? So it says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed, see, of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So this land can't be cleansed unless your blood is shed, because you shed the blood of Israelites. Okay? So let's go back to Ezekiel. I'm getting ready to wrap up. Ezekiel, the 35th chapter. I believe I was in verse 7. Let me see. Yeah, verse 6 actually, but I'm gonna read on down. It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood. And I just got Isaiah 14 and Numbers 35, proving that you got to pay, man. Blood is going to be prepared unto you. That a slaughter is going to be prepared unto you because you slaughtered the Israelites. Okay? It says, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So blood is going to pursue you Edomites, man, you so-called white people. Okay? Verse 7, it says, thus will I make Mount Seir on Mount Seir, most desolate, America primarily. That's what it's talking about, because it's going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire via World War III. Okay? And it says, and cut off from it him that passeth out and him that returneth. See? And I will fill his mountains, which mountains represents governments, with his slain men. Okay? That is Isaiah 66:15-16 says, the slain of the Lord shall be many. And that includes you peon Edomites over here. Okay? That's going to be burned and wiped out. Including you Edomites over there, you 1948ers over there in Israel, you so-called Jews. You're going to be, that land's going to be cleansed. That land's going to be wiped out. Okay? It says, in thy hills and in thy valleys and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. Hey, the Lord blessed you with the sword, by the way. When you read Genesis, the 27th chapter, Esau was blessed with a sword, which the sword represents destruction. But guess what? Hey, the scriptures also say, he that live by the sword shall die by the sword. So you Edomites going to die by that sword, man. Okay? And the ultimate sword, are those missiles. All right? Verse 9, it says, I will make thee perpetual desolations. Right? It's going to be destroyed all the way through. It says, and they and thy cities shall not return. See? And ye shall know that I am Yahweh. So, hey, you Edomites are through, man. Yeah, America's not going to be built back up. You, like I said, you Edomites are not going to rise back up into power. All right? So that's the future for you so-called white people. Matter of fact, I'm going to end it off. Let's end it off with Isaiah 34. Okay? Isaiah 34, and I'm going to start at, I just start at 1, read on that. It says, come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all the things that come forth of it. For the indignation, meaning righteous anger, of the Lord, and I thought the Lord was all love too, right? It says, is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies, and he hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter, all right? He's going to deliver you Edomites primarily to the slaughter, because you're the number one target on the Lord's hit list, man, because you're the wicked, pursuant to Job 9:24 and Proverbs 16:4, where it says the wicked was created for the day of evil. Verse 3, it says, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses. And this is going to all happen via World War III, because there will be a third world's nuclear war. It says, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. They'll go that word mountains again, which represents what? Governments. The chief government being Esau's kingdom that we're in right now. Your government, your hegemony. Verse 4, it says, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved. How is this going to happen? By those missiles. Okay? And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. That smoke, man, that nuclear fire. Okay? It's talking about those missiles, man. All right? That mushroom cloud. And it says, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a fallen fig from the fig tree. Verse 5, it says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. So ultimately, the missiles is really the Lord's sword, man. Okay? Remember, it's the weapons of his indignation. He just gave it to Esau as his blessing, man. But it really belongs to the Lord. So it says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Now, Idumea is Greek for Edom. Okay? It's the same thing as Edom. It's just in Greek. The Hebrew word for Edom is Adawam, which Idumea, Edom, and Adawam all mean red. Same word, different, saying, so to speak. It says, upon the people of my curse, Slakia, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So why y'all name the people of the Lord's curse? Because again, you had no pigmentation. You only race of people that don't have no melanin. All right. You have what you have what's known as leprosy, but you're a clean leper. Okay. You're a clean leper. because you're leopards from head to toe. Verse 6, it says, the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and the fat of the lamb of lambs and goats. So he's preparing you to a sacrifice. Okay? It says, with the fat of the kidneys of rams, for the Lord have a sacrifice in Bozrah, another name for Esau, Edom. Okay? You was dwelling in a land called Bozrah too. That's part of your inheritance back then. Okay? So it says, for the Lord have a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea, which is ultimately represents America, but it's talking about you so-called white people as well. The Lord has it out for you, man. Okay, he's going to bring judgment upon the so-called white race. It says, and the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, see, and their dust made fat with fatness. Verse 8, for it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, see, the Lord's vengeance upon you Edomites, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion, which is Israel. Okay? Verse 9, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone. It's fire and brimstone, which represents those missiles going to touch this place. Okay? And the land thereof shall become burning pitch. Right? This land's going to burn. It says, it shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever, meaning a long period of time. For generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. So it's talking about America. America's going to be burned for a very long time. You peon crackers that's left over here, you're going to be destroyed. And you're going to be caught up in that fire, man. Okay, so that's all I'm going to read right there. You know, I just want to do a quick response to that. This Edomite, man, that don't know what the fuck she talking about. Look at some of these comments. All right, talking about something very powerful. Yeah, right. She ain't saying nothing. Somebody said Esau is the end, which they probably don't even know what the hell they talking about right there. And you have a question right here from Derry Wright. Says, who is Edom? It says Esau. But who is Esau? Right. And I just broke down who Esau Edom was, you know, in this lesson. Since she couldn't do it, she admitted she couldn't do it, because she don't know the scriptures, man. She don't know the scripture. Someone said, oh, this is just 11 minutes ago. That spirit says, sorry to bust your bubble. That's a future prophecy. Now read the whole single chapter of Obadiah, like I mentioned in this video, right? The Lord's hate letter to Esau Edom, this so-called white race, verses 18, verse 18. Then read Malachi 1 and 3. Yep. Romans 9 and 13. Then Revelation 13 and 10, which I quoted that. All right. Yeah, there's other scriptures like this brother posted. I could have got, but, you know, I ain't want to make it too long. But like I said, I'm going to sign off by saying again, all praises and glorifications goes to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles and elders that great minister on well. Peace, love, salutations. So the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of earth preaching his word in truth and sincerity. Say shalom and kwame Yashala. Shalom.